welcome to This Week in Week Entertainment. I'm your host, Franklin Nash. Casual Friday. Now our top story. After months of speculation, Rihanna announced this week that she is indeed back together with her former love, Chris Brown, but says that this time around, it's different. According to our sources, now Chris just talks a lot of smack. After wildly misinterpreting the phrase, "I'd like to hit that," the couple parted ways in 2009 until just getting back together recently. While their relationship is being heavily criticized by media and fans of both artists, they insist they have found love in a hopeless place. That hopeless place, of course, being that of the fantasy world they live in, where as long as you're both famous musicians, it doesn't matter what color you are. Black and blue, blue and black, black and purple, blue and purple, black and purple. Yes, their relationship truly is different this time around. Since 2009, Rihanna is putting out many more hits than Chris Brown. We can only hope that now the only battery charges Chris Brown receives is when one of his cars won't start. In other Chris Brown battery news, aforementioned R&B singer Chris Brown got into an altercation earlier this week with R&B singer Frank Ocean outside of a recording studio in West Hollywood. Apparently, in this case, R&B stands for roughhousing and brawling. Both artists suffered injuries to their hands after trading fisticuffs. According to the artists' entourages, this was a fight between a guy who hits girls and a guy who hits like a girl. A guy who girls are afraid of, and a guy who's afraid of girls. It appears that the fight started over a parking spot that Chris claimed was his. But Brown's crew say it was Frank Ocean who instigated the fight, because it is well known that Frank opts to park behind the studio lot, where there is ample free parking in rear. In other R&B news, at a news conference for her upcoming Super Bowl performance, Beyonce launched into an impromptu, live, non-pre-recorded, non-lip-synced performance of the national anthem. At the end of the performance, she then asked, "Any questions?" To which the entire crowd on hand asked the question, "Was that so hard?" Followed by the question, "So why do all the rest of your songs suck?" Beyonce then reassured the crowd that they need not worry if this performance sounded too good, because at halftime during the Super Bowl, she will be back to her horrible, awful-sounding self again. Finally, in an apparent metaphor for his career, dazed and confused star Jason London crapped himself in the back of a cop car Sunday morning after the actor was punched in the face during a bar fight. According to our sources, 40-year-old Jason was thrown out of the bar, kicking and screaming during the process, and was beaten up. During an onslaught of drunken dialogue, London at one point told officers that he was famous and to look him up. Coincidentally, the actor having to tell you to look them up just so happens to be the universal sign for them no longer being famous. Jason took to Twitter afterwards to deny the allegations, saying the whole thing was one big lie. When asked to report on the incident, fellow Poopy Pants Spotlight spokesman Al Roker said denying this crap was bad form, and that London should embrace the recent soiling coverage, especially given his current lack of celebrity status. And while Roker pooped himself in the White House and London dropped the trouser deuce in the back of a squad car, the song remains the same. You gotta do what you gotta do, and sometimes you gotta do. Well said, Al. This has been This Week in Week Entertainment. I've been Franklin Nash, and may tomorrow find you well, and today find tomorrow. In other R&B news, at a news conference for her upcoming Super Bowl Sorry. In other R&B news, Sorry. In other R&B news, my goodness!
Now take a look and you can see another one of those miracles out here, but if you take a